Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday morning to you. This is yours truly, King Buddy Ray, coming back at you for another episode of the KBR Show. It's been a decently lower week in sports this week because just some NBA Finals game, a hockey game on Monday that we had. But nothing too major this week, but we do have a couple things to catch up on. The U.S. Open does start today, the 125th U.S. Open at Oakmont starts today. Should be a fun one there. The Men's College World Series starts tomorrow, an 18 double elimination format there. But also we have our CBL action. We had some earlier this week on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and we have some this weekend. But as always, we are going to start with the NBA Finals Game 3 yesterday evening. So, Thunder come in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, tied 1-1. Can they get a win? The winner of Game 3, when the series is tied at one game apiece, has won 80% of the series. So this is crucial. This is a crucial game. The Thunder had a 55% chance, and the over-under was 11.5 at the beginning of the game. If you are a Pacers fan at the start of the game, you're thinking, okay, SGA is going to get his. He's going to get near 30, probably over 30, but you've got to make him work. You got to make him work. You got to press him 90 feet. You got to get up in his face. You got to make him take a lot of shots and not have him be efficient. Game 1 in the loss, he took 30 shots. Game 2, he only took 21. So 9 less shots, and he had more points. So you've got to make him work, got to make him physical, got to make him get tired. Also got to make him work on the defensive end as well, kind of wear him down a little bit. He has 11 games this playoffs with 30-plus points. Only other two people to do that are the two GOATs. We are not going to argue about that because this show would be forever if we did that. And when I say that, I mean Michael Jordan and the LeBron James. And so the Pacers must send a message and compete and not go down in the ball game. That is another big thing here. They've gone down big every single game so far in the series. Yeah, they came back down 15, but you're not going to win a series if you're down 15 every game. You're not going to do that 4 times. You may do it once or twice, maybe 3 times if you're lucky, but you're not going to win 4 games if you do that. So they've got to compete. Halliburton's got to be aggressive. Carlisle knew one after the game. I am sure the media was dogging him. Stephen A. Smith gave him a shout out on First Take, saying he better do his thing, be aggressive. He's only 15 points average on 33% shooting in the first 2 games. But the biggest stat line was looking at, he had no trips to the free-throw line. No trips to the free-throw line. That is big. That is big. And the Thunder defense, everyone knows the Thunder defense has been key all playoffs, all series too as well, all season as well. Pacers had no 20-point score, so the Thunder D was up in them. They're the 4th team to do that in an NBA Finals through the first 2 games. Halliburton's got to not only get going, but he's got to be aggressive and make others have open buckets, pick and pops, pick and rolls, open in the corner after he drives. They're 19-1 when he has 20 points and 10 assists. Can he get it done? We're going to see. And he did. So the first quarter starts out, Thunder come out in a 4-0 run. Pacers answer with a Pascal Siakam 4-0 run. So very good there. Pascal Siakam, as usual, he starts out with a lot of points early. He had the first 6 for the Pacers. The Pacers went small. They didn't go Thomas Bryant first, like they normally have been all playoffs long. Thomas Bryant did eventually play in the second half. The Thunder did force 4 turnovers, so you were a little worried as Pacers. 4 turnovers in the first 6 minutes for the Pacers. Just getting hands in passing lanes, tipping balls, everything like that. But after the first quarter, it was 32-24 OKC. And then the bench came in. Mr. T.J. McConnell and Benedict Mathurin, the Arizona Wildcat boys. What can they do? Can they respond? Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins had a big game too for the bench for the Thunder. Can they compete? Who wins the battle of the bench in the second quarter? Well, if you didn't watch the game, it was T.J. McConnell and Benedict Mathurin especially. T.J. McConnell had a steal and an assist early. He scored a bucket. Next pass in off the inbounds. He tips it, throws it off of Jalen Williams, I think it was. Gets the steal, gets the ball back. He had 2 steals in the first 2 minutes he was in. Great hustle. Benedict Mathurin had 7 points in his first 3 minutes off the bench in the second quarter. So it's awesome there. And then so 3 minutes into the second quarter, the Pacers tied the game at 36, going on a 12-3 run. TJ McConnell by that point had 3 steals. SGA to start was only 2 of 7, so the Pacers were making him work for all his shots. The Pacers, after a middle second quarter 11-2 run, went up 39-36, and at this point in the game, 19-0 in bench points in favor of the Pacers behind Benedict Mathurin, Obi Toppin, and TJ McConnell. Benedict at that point had 14 points in the quarter. It was nuts. The Pacers took it all the way up to 7. Then the Thunder went on a 7-0 run to tie it back with about 4 minutes left in the half. Tyrese Halliburton had a decent first half. At the end of the first half, the Pacers had the lead 64-60. So you're happy if you're a Pacers fan. You had 40 points total in the second quarter. You had 30 of those points being bench points in the second quarter. So very big there to OKC's 11 points off the bench. Pascal Siakam had 13 of 5-8 in the first half. Halliburton was efficient and aggressive. He had 12 points in the first half on 5 of 8, so very efficient there with 3 assists, or 7 assists and 3 boards, my apologies. Obi Toppin had 6 points. Benedict Mathurin was 5 of 6 with 14. TJ McConnell at the half had 6 points and 4 assists and 4 steals. Yes, 4 steals. The Pacers were okay from deep, shooting 38%, 55% from the floor. The Thunder, Mr. Chet Holmgren had a big first quarter, but slow second quarter. He had 13 of his 15 points in the first quarter, 15 total points at the half. SGA in the first half was only 5 of 12 with 12 points. Lou Dort was perfect from deep. He didn't shoot good from 2. He was 1 of 4 from 2 in the first half, but from deep he was 3 of 3, so maybe he should just focus on shooting threes. We all know he does that well, that little high arcer he has. He had 9 points. Jay Will had 11. The Thunder were shooting good from deep. They had 60% from deep and 47% from the field. But the turnover battle, first time this series, it was in favor of the Pacers. The Oklahoma City Thunder had 9 turnovers to the Pacers, 7 turnovers. Tyrese Halliburton was way more aggressive, getting others involved. He did what he was asked. He did what the critics say he must do. And he was playing great defense. The Thunder were picking him out on the defensive end. The Thunder were going at him, and he was standing up. He had 2 blocks in the first half. He had a steal in the first half as well. They were trying to pick at him because he's the small guy on the team, but he was showing up. He was making it happen. So what would happen in the third quarter? Would the Thunder come out with a bang? Would the Pacers keep up? What would happen? The third quarter in all playoff series, this playoffs, especially when the Thunder and Pacers are involved, have been huge. The Pacers had no turnovers in the second quarter. Could they keep that up? Thunder come out 6-0 run, timeout quick. Miles Turner took a couple shots. He was 1 of 8 at the point there. Thunder come out with much better transition defense. They allowed a lot of easy buckets, off-made buckets in the first half. Yeah, so it was interesting there. Can Burt stay aggressive and shooting the 3? So they come out on a 6-0 run. Quick timeout from Carlo. He's like, enough of this. They went up 2. And then it just went back and forth for the rest of the third quarter. The Thunder ended up 5 after 3. 10 of 18 from deep after 3 complete quarters. So you're going into the fourth quarter looking to be a dog fight here. The biggest stat line with SGA at this point, he was okay efficiency-wise, but he had 5 turnovers. Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Obi Toppin, Pascal Siakam, Benedict Mathurin were all guarding him, changing. But they were all picking him up literally 90 feet. As soon as he stepped foot inbounds on that side of the floor, they were picking him up, getting on his nerves, and it was getting to him. You could see it if you watched the game. Benedict Mathurin stayed hot in the fourth quarter. 5 points, staying hot. TJ McConnell had 2 more steals early in the fourth as well, and a made bucket off the inbounds play. TJ McConnell just loves to run. The Pacers love to run and push the pace. They tied it at 95 early in the fourth quarter. Benedict Mathurin at this point had 25 points on 9 of 11. Oklahoma City had 18 turnovers at this point as well. Turner was playing great defense in Chet. He got smoked in the first quarter. Smoked. Absolutely smoked. But he had great defense. He had a spot in the fourth quarter where he actually had a block on a three-point attempt. Went back to Chet Holmgren after the block, and then Chet tried to drive on him, and he did. But then he came behind, and he beat him. But Turner did not give up on the play. Turner ended up blocking and getting a second block there. Very key there. They were up 2 at the point. So if the 3-point goes in, they're up 1. They were down 2 at the point, sorry. If the 3 goes in, they would have been up 1 at that point. So it was very key defense from Miles Turner. Pascal Siakam had a few more buckets late in transition. The Pacers eventually went up 8. Oklahoma City got to the 3-throw line late, but they missed 3 key 3-throws late. The final ended up being 116-107 Pacers. So the Pacers won by 9 points, taking a 2-1 lead series. Best of 7, Game 4 will be back in Indianapolis. Your final stat lines for the game and final notes for the game. They made SGA work. You knew you had to do that to beat the Thunder. You knew you had to cut down on turnovers. You knew you had to have Halliburton be productive, whether it's aggressive and productive, or more productive, or a mixture of both. It was a mixture of both tonight, and they got it done. Big bench minutes from Toppin, Benedict Mathurin, and TJ McConnell. The Pacers move up to 21 when Halliburton has 20 points and 10 assists at least. Chet Holmgren finished the game for the Thunder with 20 points and 10 boards. Jalen Williams had a decent night with 26 points. SGA only had 24 points, 8 boards, 4 assists on 9 of 20. So they made him work. He didn't get up near as many shots. They made him work. He didn't shoot over 50% like he normally does, and the bench struggled. Isaiah Joe had 2 quick threes in the second quarter, but that's it. Alex Caruso had 8. Aaron Wiggins had none after having a 20-point game in Game 3. Overall shooting for the Thunder, 46% from the field, 45% from deep. The Pacers, they came to play. Pascal Siakam had 21 points. Tyrese Halliburton had 22 points on 9 of 17 with 11 assists and 9 boards, so 1 board away from a triple-double. Obi Toppin, like I said, had 8 points. TJ McConnell had 10 points. Listen to this stat line. 10 points, 5 assists, and 4 steals, and 8 of those 10 points were fast breaks. Awesome game from TJ McConnell. Benedict Mathurin was the leading scorer in the game with 27 points off the bench on 9 of 12 shooting. Very key. And he actually played late minutes. Neesmith fouled out with about 2.5, 3 minutes left. So Benedict Mathurin got the minutes there. So the Pacers got it done. Won Game 3. Take the 2-1 series lead. Going back to Indiana again on Game 4 on Friday. So only one day off. NBA fans, myself, should be happy about that one. One day off. Friday, back at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, on Friday for Game 4. Can the Thunder bounce back? They haven't lost back-to-back games all playoffs, or all season, that is. So, if you're a Thunder fan, you're looking good there. Can the Pacers take a 3-1 lead back to Oklahoma City for Monday? We will see. Early pick here. Numbers don't lie, analytics. I think the Thunder win Game 4, go back to Oklahoma City. I think the Thunder are going to win Game 4. But I think this is a series now. I think it's going to end in 7. I'm not quite sure who's going to win yet, but I'll go with Pacers in 7 after what I saw last night. But for Game 4, I think the Thunder are going to win. We shall see. Should be a fun one there. Now to the RCBL action. We're going to recap last night real quick. Broadway had a thrilling 12-inning win over Stuart Straft. Anyone that knows Stuart Straft, you got to out-hit him. Broadway did with 15 runs over Stuart Straft's 14 runs in 12 innings. back and forth late. A big stat line I saw there, paying attention to it last night, was Broadway had 7 errors. 7 errors. And then on Wednesday, Elkton got their first win over Montezuma on Tuesday. My apologies, not Wednesday. On Tuesday, Elkton beat Montezuma 11-9, getting their first win of the 2025 RCBL baseball season. And then Broadway, like I said, won last night. For Thursday's action, the only game in action tonight is the one and only Clover Hill Bucks at the Clover Dome, Buck Bowman Park, bringing in Montezuma. And it is a fan favorite, and I like this one as well. It is Dairy Night, thanks to Rockingham Cooperative. It is Dairy Night, Rockingham Co-op. Cow milking contest should be a fun one there at 7:45 at the Dome. But we're going to go back and recap Tuesday night's game for the Bucks. The Bucks go in to Tuesday night 4-2. Broadway comes in 4-0. Will Broadway go away with a win and remain undefeated? Will the Bucks knock them off and show, hey, you want to play big boy ball, you got to play with the Bucks? Because they've only played Elkton, Stuarts Draft, and Montezuma, which are 3 of the lower teams from last season. So what happens here? What happens? Oh, top of the first, 2 outs. Seth Moomaw, lefty from Stonewall Jackson for Broadway. It's a dinger, dead center, over the fence. So that's happened twice now for Clover Hill, or against Clover Hill. Corbin Lucas did it a couple games ago in the first. But those were the only 2 runs in both of those games that the Bucks gave up. The Bucks come back and try to answer in the bottom of the first. They loaded the bases, but TJ Johnson ended up striking out with the bases loaded. But in the bottom of the second, Anthony Archie Elio started with a single, then stole second base. And then Brooks Bowman eventually struck out, bringing in Josh Eberly to the plate. He walked. And then both runners moved up on a pass ball, second and third. Sumter had a K. Then Stav grounded to second. But there was a throwing error. Ended up scoring both runs instead of letting Broadway out of the inning there. There was a throwing error on that. So good old error helped out the Bucks there. Then Nick Stavros rounded first base, and he got tagged out. So it ended the inning there, but the Bucks did score both runs, so that was big, and the Bucks did not look back. For the Bucks pitching staff that whole game, Sherman only allowed the 1 run on the home run. He responded well, nothing after that. The Bucks pitching staff as a whole struck out 11 all game. Grant Thomas came in the 9th and struck out all 3 batters he faced. Tanner Moyers, TA boy, struck out 4 in 2 innings. He came out throwing hard. Lenore Ryan, he went to the Lenore Ryan College as well. Tyler Hill, recent TA grad, threw 2 scoreless innings as well. A very good overall pitching performance again from the Bucks pitching staff. For hitting for the Bucks, Christian Flip Harris was 2 for 4 with a double. Nick Stavros and Kevin Nevada also had a double. Josh Eberly, fun stat line here, 0 for 0 with 3 at-bats. He had 2 walks and was hit once. I don't know this for a fact, but he gets hit and or walked a lot. He's very disciplined at the plate. I don't know the exact numbers. I'll look into that for a future episode. I just thought of that off the top of my head. He does get hit by the pitch a lot, and he does get walked a lot. So, Bucks welcome Zuma tonight, and then they travel to Montezuma on Saturday, and then they bring Broadway back to the Buck Dome on Sunday. Should be a fun weekend for Bucks fans. For other RCBL action, there's no more other action on Thursday, but on Friday, the Broadway Bruins will be at Ray Hitwell Field to play the Bridgewater Reds. Should be a fun one there. Chris Huffman, does Derek Schiffler show up and finally play a game for the Reds? We will see. For RCBL, for people that don't know RCBL rules, all you got to do is play 3 games to be able to play in the playoffs, and some players do that. Derek Schiffler did that last year, and that's why I say stuff like that. So all you got to do is play in 3 games, and it's not even play the whole game. You can come in and pinch run 3 times, and it counts. Or pinch run for 3 games, and it counts as an appearance in the game. The Grottoes Cardinals are at Broadway on Saturday, and then also on Friday, The Elkton Blue Sox are at Stewart's Draft. And then on Sunday, the Montezuma Braves are at Bridgewater on Sunday as well. So it should be a fun, busy weekend in the RCBL action for you. Local sports. TA ended up being at Abington in the quarterfinals on Tuesday. So they will play York tomorrow morning, Friday morning at 10 a.m. in Fluvanna. All semifinal and final games for the VHSL state playoffs are at Fluvanna High School this weekend. Broadway won again. They will play New Kent. Winner of those two games will play each other for the softball finals. I have yet to find out when the final game is for softball, but I assume it's Saturday sometime. Last year it was Saturday at 10, so maybe it will be the same time. I don't know. If I find something out, I will shoot a post out and go from there, so it should be fun action there. Spotswood High School got their first win in this state tournament, and they will also play Kettle Run tomorrow at 1:30 at Fluvanna. Win in advance for all three of those teams. Win in advance for all three of those teams to the state final. You win, you're in the final, and the finals are most likely on Saturday. I don't know that for a fact, but they're normally not on Sundays. So best bet is they are on Saturday. I will get further information for you. I am going to the TA softball game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. So it should be a fun one there. If you're a TA fan, take a Friday off of work, go watch a softball game. Fluvanna's got nice facilities. It's not that far away. It's about an hour and 10 minutes from Bridgewater area, so an hour and 20 from the Harrisonburg area, if that's where you're from. So should be a fun one there. I am looking forward to going to that. Can't beat some softball on a Friday morning. Nice weather as well, it's looking like, so should be fun. To Major Leagues, the New York Yankees took the first two of the series from the Kansas City Royals. Game 3 of that series is tonight. The Tigers, best team in the major leagues in the power rankings, lost last night to Baltimore 10-1. 10-1, so that was an interesting one. Looking towards the weekend series, some fun ones. The Yankees will be in Boston for a 3-game series. The Cubs welcome in Pittsburgh for a 3-game series. The Blue Jays will be at Philadelphia for a 3-game series. The bottom dweller of the league, the Rockies, will be in Atlanta to face the Braves. You have the Cardinals in a Milwaukee Brewers series. Should be a fun one down there. And then Giants and Dodgers, West Coast action. The San Francisco Giants against the Dodgers, all 3-game series this weekend. So should be a fun one there if you're a Major League Baseball fan. The College World Series also starts this weekend in men's college baseball. You got Arizona over for Coastal tomorrow at 2 o'clock. You got Louisville and Oregon State Friday at 7. And then on Saturday, you have Murray State against UCLA. And then Arkansas versus LSU, an SEC foe matchup there. Should be a fun one for the College World Series. So lots of baseball action this weekend, whether it's men's College World Series, MLB baseball, RCBL baseball, my favorite, or whether it's even local high school state semifinal and final baseball. Shout out Spotswood High School there. Or some softball action, TA and Broadway. So if you're a fan of softball or baseball, plenty of action for you. And then last, before we get into the positive thought of the day, the hockey finals, Stanley Cup, Game 4 is tonight. Florida Panthers have a 2-1 lead. Can Edmonton and Connor McDavid come back and tie the series at 2? Game 4 tonight should be a fun one there if you are a hockey fan. So now to the positive thought of the day. Question to start it. What do you, or I'm going to point to myself, what do you do when you get the results, when you don't get the results you want? What do you do? What do you tell yourself when you don't get them? Do you put positive thoughts in your head? Do you put negative thoughts in your head? The key is you have to understand, not just sometimes, a lot of the time you will fail, and even fail more than you will succeed. But that doesn't mean give up or put negative thoughts in your head saying you stink, I'm awful, I shouldn't have tried this, I shouldn't have done that this way, I should have done it that way. Don't do that. Put positive thoughts in your brain. Put positive thoughts in your head. You look at greats like Thomas Edison, Benjamin Franklin, some great athletes, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Throw whoever you want in there. Thomas Edison, for example, it took him 1,000 times to figure out how to create the light bulb, how to invent it. Do you think after the first 999 times he told himself he was awful, or he told himself he was stupid for even trying this? No. He told himself, I'm just going to find 999 ways that didn't work. And that's what happened. And then he eventually created the light bulb, and the rest is history from there. When you do something and it doesn't work, it's not failure. It's part of the process of finding out ways that didn't work and finding out the outcome that you do want. It's not failure. It's a process to get to the outcome that you want. Remember, always think positive. Negative never gets you anywhere. Don't think negative. Yeah, negative things are going to happen. It's a part of life. I'm not going to tell you negative things are not going to happen to you or are not going to happen to me. Yes, it's a part of life. I totally get it. But don't put the negative thoughts in there. When the negative thing happens, brush it off to the side and move on. That is the biggest thing. Don't listen to your haters saying you can't do it or won't do it or won't be successful. You are the one that decides what will happen with the thoughts and with the feelings that you get when you fail. Put positive thoughts in your head. Aim to succeed. Don't quit. Go be you. Go win. Because winners never quit and quitters never win. So to recap, RCBL. Bucks are back in action tonight at the Buck Dome. Buck Bowman Park at 7:45 for Dairy Night. Thanks to Rockingham Co-op. Should be a fun one against Montezuma as always there. You got MLB action this weekend. You got College World Series action starting tomorrow. TA, Broadway, and Spotswood all in-state semifinals at Fluvanna tomorrow on Friday. Should be a fun, action-packed weekend if you like some sports. It's supposed to be nice weather as well. So go fishing if you're into that. Go do a nice picnic with the family if you're into that. Should be fun. But that is it for today's episode of the KBR Show. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I've really enjoyed continuing to do this. Subscribe if you haven't. Like a video. Send me some things you want me to talk about. I always talk about sports and some local stuff and some positive thoughts because that's how I roll. But if you want something added, shoot me a message. I'll gladly consider adding it. But until next time, thank you again for tuning in, everyone. And as always, go Bucks.